Good morning, Hustle Nation. It is Tuesday, 7 a.m. So y'all know what time it is. It is time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with Cortez Hustle and my girl, Michelle Aaye. And today, we got a very special guest, and we're talking about getting organized, ladies and gentlemen, with Jodi Granok from Magically Organized Magic.
Organized magic.
Organized magic. We're gonna get it figured out, and Jodi is going to really rock the house. It's one of those things that everybody needs that nobody wants to admit that they need. And if I show y'all beyond this little view right here,
don't do it. Don't do it.
I will understand why we had to reach out to Jodi and have her come on to the show this morning. So do me a favor, go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. If you like a free business shout out, we're going to officially start the show. Let's do it.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. That is my girl, Michelle Aaye, coming to you live and direct from the OrganizedMagic.com studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you are similar to your boy and you struggle in the area of organization, then OrganizedMagic.com is the place for you to go check out my girl, Jodi Granok. And we're actually going to talk to her this morning and get her take. So do us a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and on your brand. Just don't share any links and smash that share buttons, ladies and gentlemen. Spread the news that the St. Louis Hustle Podcast is live and in living color. Chalet, how was your weekend?
Man, woo! I gotta tell you, right? Let me tell you, it's so much going on. I got a list, but I think I got it all covered, right? So the weekend, first of all, DMX. No, Lord. Why?
Man.
Why, Lord?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that I just, it's like your uncle. You know what I'm saying? It's like DMX was that, right? You know what I'm saying? He was that uncle that came around and everybody knew, like, don't leave your purse around no more. We gonna come tear up the barbecue, we go clown at the family reunion, but he's still your uncle and you love him. We're gonna get arrested at some point during the year. You still love him though. Yeah. So, RIP, we're gonna miss him. That's it. That's all I gotta say for that. So I got a couple things, and I have a bone to pick with you, sir. Like, I got a bone, like, I wanna catch you outside, and I got a bone to pick with you.
On site. On
site. I'ma just pull up, as my kids say, in this home. So me and Mr. Wonderful, we went to, they had the car show downtown at the American Center. And because of something that you said, now this joker just think he right about everything. Okay. He hit me with this weekend. Well, Cortez says that. Well, Cortez, how he make it to this conversation? I don't see what Cortez has to do with this. Cortez said, hey, the bros gotta stick together. Look, don't get elbows in the forehead fooling around with Cortez.
That's right, Mr. Wonderful. You can feel free to quote me anytime.
Absolutely. I heard that all freaking weekend. Well, Cortez says people don't dance no more. All they do is this. I said, okay. We went to the car show, and this joke, all I wanted to do, I was hungry. I was hangry. I was hangry. All I wanted to do was stop and get a bag of chips. Give me 5 minutes to eat the chips and drink a little soda. Then we can go all through and look at all the cars you want. I like the car show too. I like cars. No, why don't you get cooked food? I don't want cooked food right now. We're going to dinner later. Let me get these chips. Then he says it so much, he talked the person behind the counter into it. But they do have cooked food. Whose side are you on? Are you trying to make a buck? What are you doing?
Do you want this money or not?
Right. Apparently she didn't. So I'm walking through hungry with an attitude. He's stopping at every freaking car, taking pictures and videos. Yes. We get to the food, and he goes, pushes me in the direction of the food, and then he go, I'm gonna go over here. Just go. Just don't do your thing. So I got my food. I sit down. I'm sorry, Mr. Wonderful. I did this on purpose. Sorry. I ate as slow as I could. Because he did his thing, was done, standing behind me, waiting like Mr. Wonderful don't really do crowds. So he waiting behind me like, I was like, then when I finished, he was like, okay. And we start walking towards the exit. What you doing? I have to go see the cars now. See, if you had waited and did it my way, we could have did this together. But now you got to go back and see what you already saw.
You eating your rice 1 grain at a time.
1 grain. That's good. That is some good rice right there. So yeah, but I feel like it's all your fault.
Well, listen,
like it's your fault.
You came up with that topic. That's all I'm gonna say. That was your doing. Your doing. COVID numbers. Where we at? What
COVID.
Vaccinating? We not vaccinating.
Wait, man. Oh man. Okay, so quick. So we're St. Louis is up 3,000, like 2,500 again, and Illinois is up right about the same. So we matching, right? Okay. And then just breaking news. Breaking news. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine, of which I was supposed to go get today. Not gonna happen. They are pulling it, causing blood clots in women. Don't do it. They said 7 million people have gotten the Johnson & Johnson. Now they might look at the numbers and be like, well, what's the hit rate? What's the error rate? 6 women have turned up these blood clots. And 1 person has died. So six is 6 too many for me. I'm good. Okay. So I'm not doing that. And then they said that the others, I guess, are still, deemed safe. They're rolling with the others. But now I'm gonna fall back because they said now that some people who've gotten vaccinated are still getting COVID. There's some stuff going on. I said, I'm gonna wait out a little longer. So, and last thing, Minneapolis is clowning again. I'm gonna say it because I know we got to get our guest on, but this is just super quick. The officer that shot the young man, Dante Wright, said it was an accident, which it very well could have been an accident. They showed on the news one particular police department where their handles. In this particular one, I don't know if it's Minnesota or not, the handles were both black. You know what I'm saying? However, she was a 26-year veteran. Years 1 through 5, maybe. But you've been on the job 26 years, and they probably have been using tasers for at least 10 to 15 years. Yeah. I'm not for that. I wouldn't see a reason why she would need. I would say carelessness, because I don't think she woke up that morning and was like, I'm gonna go kill a black man today. I don't think it was that, but I think that it was carelessness and not paying attention. At the end of the day, somebody died because you weren't paying attention and saying, oops. You can't say oops to that. And saying, I grabbed the wrong one. That's like saying somebody died. You know what I'm saying? So, but then the people in the streets turn up throwing, but we can't do that. My rant's almost over. We can't do that every time injustice happens. It's not it's not productive. It's not fruitful. And it continues to label us as a people, black and white folks. Because white folks, I love y'all. Y'all be getting out there in the struggle with us. So stop it. There it is. Yeah, it's a mess. That is a really hard thing, hard pill to swallow. The accidental. I shot you, but I was trying to tase you. Yeah. So hopefully, it's funny. I listened to Prince EA is a social media influencer. He does these wonderful videos, and he talked about how you need more training to be a barber than you do to be a police officer. And I was like, wow, is that really? So I had to start thinking about it. Like, yeah, you need more training. You get more training to be a barber or a hairstylist than you do a police officer. So seriously. I think it all goes back to more training, more training. So I know you got your A word of the day coming up, Michelle, and we've got our money
Affirmation coming up as well, but I want to bring our guest on into the show because she might have something to say about your word of the day. So,
well, all right.
When it comes to getting yourself organized, some of us can use a slap on the hand from our parents and we get our room cleaned up. Other folks need a hired gun. We need some professional help. And I ain't ashamed to say that I am one of them, Michelle, but here's why I don't get the professional help. Because listen, people, don't fall into the meme trap, right? See, there's a meme that floats around on Facebook where there's a person in this junkie office and it says, studies show that people who are junkie like this are geniuses. And I was like, yes, there is my rationalization for being in this mess. But I got a sneaky suspicion that our guest, Ms. Jodi Granok, is not going to agree with that. So let's bring on our special guest from Organized Magic, Ms. Jodi Granok.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning, Jodi?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are doing good. So before we get into who you are and how you got started in this whole space, Michelle does a segment every day called the A Word of the Day. So Michelle, take it away with the A Word of the Day.
Well, all right. So this is one of my favorite words in the whole wide world. Today's A Word of the Day, people, is grace. Not like, Lord, thank you for this food. I'm about to receive that was, but it's grace, right? Some people, if you're like me, you think about food, be like, grace, but grace, right? And so grace is, if you're a church folk, you know what grace is. You know, I didn't want to go with the classic textbook definition. I'm gonna go with the Michelle definition that I know I've heard before in different places, churches or whatever, but it's unmerited favor. You know what I'm saying? From God. And so I was thinking about the whole thing and how it translates and how just in our day-to-day life, you know, as we interact with our loved ones, we interact with our coworkers and etc., we should extend more grace. Cliche, I know, but we really kind of need to do that, right? In the big scheme of things, God shows us grace, you know, every single day, you know, little things, big things. I don't care how bad you think your life is. There is something that you know about yourself that don't nobody else know. And that's a something that if it got out, clutch your pearls, you would be like, oh my God, please don't let that out. You know, so think about those moments, right? That super bad thing. You'd be like, man, people knew that about me. Man, CORTEZ would be like, I'm not fooling with her. I don't even know who that is. So we have to, when people do something to you, not necessarily turn the other cheek, but extend some understanding, extend some grace. So I got a couple things here. I ain't gonna make it too churchy, but there was one particular scripture that I really wanted to read because I feel like it really meant something. Because somewhere out there, there's a person that feels like they've done so many bad things. Their life is so horrible, but grace is available to everybody. All you have to do is accept it, right? So Romans 5:20, it is, moreover, the law entered that the offense might abound, right? But where sin abounded, grace abounded much more. So people that's saying, wherever you are, whatever your wrong is and whatever you're doing, God has a grace that covers that thing. So I don't care how much you sin, there's a grace to cover it, right? Now that doesn't mean go out and just act a donkey and just do all kind of stuff. However, it means that you could be forgiven and there could be grace in that situation. Doesn't mean there won't be a consequence. This is not what grace means, but it means that you'll be forgiven and you can get past whatever it was. The second thing that I wanted to just share was Micah 7:18. And it says, who is a God like you who pardons sin and forgives the transgressions of the remnant of the inheritance? You do not stay angry forever, but you delight to show mercy. Like we got to have that same kind of heart. People are going to wrong us. People are going to offend us, but God is waiting to show mercy. God knows us. He knows we're going to jack some stuff up. And he's waiting for us to say, man, Lord, I messed that up. Please forgive me. He's waiting and he delights to show mercy in our situation. And we truly have to be like that to other people, people in our lives, our families, etc. Mr. Wonderful. We have to be able to do that. I think if we do that, we'll kind of be a better place in this world. We were just talking about the police shooting in Minnesota. Again, there's a mercy for that. Somebody lost their life, not taking nothing away from that. But if it was an accident, there's a grace for that still. Again, consequences. You might have to go sit with your people for a minute. But I just think that we need to operate in just a little bit more grace, a little bit more grace. So it's a little syrupy. Somebody would say a little churchy, but that's my heart. You know what I'm saying? That we just have to kind of start somewhere. There it is. Absolutely. A word of the day.
Absolutely. Jodi, do you have a comment on the word grace this morning?
I think it's an excellent word. And I would say not only do we need to be gracious to each other, we need to be gracious to ourselves.
Come on, Jodi. Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me just say, one of the things that is the most common denominator when someone comes to me for help is they have some deep shame and embarrassment, and they feel like I should be able to do this. And I've lived with this for maybe years. And I tell people, you gotta be kind to yourself. This is not something that we all innately have within us, but it's a skill that we can learn. And, I don't want people to go through their lives and feel bad. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary. And if you come home every night or go to your office every day, and all it does is make you feel overwhelmed and depressed or anxious, CORTEZ, you'll be surprised. If you want your desk to have papers everywhere, it's okay if it's not stressing you out. I don't tell people you got to have a completely clean desk because we don't all think that way. But if you can't find something in 30 seconds, then it
might be a problem
about how to tweak things a little bit. Gotcha. So that's my take on grace. Is we need to start with ourselves and be kind to ourselves, and then we can extend that and be gracious to each other.
I love it.
Love it. Love it. Love
right
it.
On board.
That is the A word of the day. And you guys know for the month of April, which is Financial Literacy Month, the A word of the day is brought to my man, Milk Jr. from EFI Financial Education Services. So he provides for us every day for the month of April a money affirmation. So let's kick it over to Milk Jr. from EFI Financial Education Services.
Today's financial affirmation. Day by day, I decrease my debt. Day by day, I decrease my debt. I make sacrifices in my personal spending so that I can pay down outstanding balances. I decrease my debt to increase my investing power. Day by day, I decrease my debt. I'm Milt Jr. Visit EFIFinancial.net and book your free personal finance consultation.
Day by day.
Get
rid of this doggone debt. And Jodi, day by day, I'm going to start being better at finding something in 30 seconds so it don't stress me out. So let's get into it, Jodi. Tell everybody who the heck is Jodi Granok?
Oh, my goodness. Well, how much time do you have?
Right.
I started my adult career actually as a social worker, and I was working with older adults for about 13 years. And there were a lot of things about social work that I really enjoyed, helping people help themselves. That's just a core value that I believe in. But, it wasn't the perfect fit for me. And so shortly after I got married, I had moved in with my husband, and it's a small house, so we got to make it work. And I was helping him organize his closet just because I didn't like some of his clothes, I'll be honest with you, Michelle. That's bad. So the only way I can get him to buy some new stuff is to say, this is threadbare. But anyway, so helped him with this closet. We worked on the office space, and I kept leaving the home office room. I would leave the room, I would walk in, I would exhale and think, oh, I can breathe now. This feels better. And I was talking to my sister-in-law about this, and she said, you're crazy. Nobody gets that excited about organizing. And the very next breath, she said, you know, maybe you should do that for a living. I said, people do this for a living? I didn't know. So I went to Google, thank goodness for Google. And I was like, oh, people do this for a living. And I was ready for a career change. So we had some conversations, see if we can make it work. And I dove in, you know, head first, feet first, got into my organization. The NAPO is the National Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals. They're my people, right? So now my people took classes, went to conference, you know, just got all in it. And I found my calling, and it really spoke to me, and to be able to help other people, but also be able to take care of myself, have my own business. It's pretty exciting. So I've been doing organizing in my company. I started Organizing Magic in 2008. So it's been strong for a while now. Yeah. And that's the life I lead. I enjoy it every day, getting to meet new people and helping people when they're overwhelmed to get their homes or their offices or even their lives back on track. And it's just a really good feeling to be able to do.
I love it. I love it. Now, Michelle has got a whole bunch of questions for you, because I think like between the two of us, she needs the most help. Now, I'm throwing myself under the bus, but I think she needs the most help out of the two of us.
Really?
But I got to get to my stuff first, though.
Hang on. I used to be a social worker, and I like to tell couples, okay, sure, I'm not using my social work skills in that way anymore.
Right.
I'm not doing
any breaking up no fight.
No. No bus throwing. Yeah.
So my whole brand and platform is monetize my life. That's what I teach outside of the podcast. And I love that you said you recognize that the social work that you had been doing for 13 years had been paying the bills, had been, you know, that was a career, and you were loving some aspects of it, but it wasn't the perfect fit. And then you found your passion. Let's talk about how that made you feel, but then also walk us through the transition, because a lot of people are in that place, Jodi, where, listen, I know this is paying the bills, but when I was on my job, I was literally dying on the inside. And I had to make a move that was scary and exhilarating at the same time. So walk us through the feeling of what it was like to actually identify that thing that made you light up on the inside, but then also the transition from social work, not just a career change, because that's one thing. You went from career to business entrepreneurship. That's a whole nother thing. So walk us through that transition.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not easy. I have a lot of colleagues that, you know, we all come to this from different backgrounds. Some of us used to be event planners or financial planners. A lot of people did project management, or they were working in teams. But I've had colleagues that have had side hustles along with their business. I've had side hustles myself. I don't like to be put into just one box. I like to have my hands in a lot of different things. I have the support of my family. I have the support of my husband. Some of my colleagues, you know, they're on their own. It's just their income. And so understandably, sometimes when you start your own business, you may have to keep that job that maybe is not doing everything for your soul. I had a colleague who did the 3 to 11 shift because she wanted to get that pension she was real close to. So she wasn't going to retire from the job that, you know, didn't fill her heart anymore, but it allowed her to do some organizing in the morning. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard. But if you want to make it work, you find a way to make it work.
Yeah, I love it. And then that support of the family is important. And let me just say this to those who may not have that. Michelle gave her word of the day. Let me give a word of the day. Scripture says all things are possible for they that believe. It didn't say all things are possible for they that got a spouse that believes. It didn't say all things are possible that they who got friends who believe. All that's required for you to walk in your purpose is that you believe. Now, could it be difficult if you got a nagging spouse that just not feeling this whole career change thing? Yes. But if you believe, then you should act on that thing that you believe. So super glad that you were able to do that with the support of your spouse. But I'm gonna let
there's family, and your family doesn't have to be your spouse, doesn't have to be your blood. It could be a group of people who lift you up and support you. So I had my community as well that could say, well, we can help you with some other work while you're working on growing your business. So I call that family. I call my colleagues in my organizing association family, because we help each other out. We know the different kinds of organizing we each like to do. We don't all like to do the same thing. So we refer people to, amongst ourselves and say, well, I may not be the best fit for that type of organizing, but I know someone who is. So that when I say family, I think it's a broader term. But there is some things with my husband, and we had to get straight, well, because that's a commitment. We had to talk about, can we make this work? So
that's super realistic, okay, so I could also be a person who needs your services. And okay, who am I kidding? Yes, I need your services. You know what, Jodi? I would say this. I would just go to the truth. I didn't go in my bedroom for 6 months once because it was so overwhelming in there. I went in to get clothes, and I went in to withdraw and to deposit. It was like that. But I didn't stay. I started sleeping in my living room, and I realized that there was an underlying issue. There was something going on, right? How often do you run into, or a twofold question, how often do you run into people where there's something underneath the lack of organization? And then talk to us, I guess, piggybacking that, talk to us about some of the psychological evidence that kind of points to the lack of organization.
Well, first of all, thanks for sharing. That's very brave, and I appreciate it. It's not easy to say, if we're having trouble in our own homes, right? And this is what I deal with all the time. So there's lots of different types of disorganization. And some of it can be emotional, and some of it could have a mental health component to it. I will tell you that typically my clients have some stuff going on. A lot of clients may have ADD, so attention deficit disorder. They may have anxiety or depression. So it can be hard to have systems or to stay focused on a task and get behind. It just seems to compound, and you feel like it's snowballing, not in favor. Yeah. There are some people, and we've seen those TV shows, right, where there's clearly some things going on. Not only do they need to work with an organizing professional, but they also need to pair that with mental health services. So there are colleagues of mine that is their specialty. They work with who have chronic disorganization. They may have hoarding tendencies, and they encourage their clients to be working also with professionals that can help them identify these deep-seated issues. Why do you feel like you have to keep every single, burger wrapper and things like that, right?
Someone saving burger. I'm going to just fold this up right here. Right there. It's my collection of Burger King wrappers. How fat is that? You know what? And I've been known to hold on to some stuff. But the day I start saving burger wrappers, I want somebody to come in and just knock it all over. Get this out of here. Stop it. Get it together. Jodi, we need you, girl. Get in here. No, so just speaking along the line of that, because you're right. We've all seen the show Hoarders. Most of us have. And have you encountered scenarios where it's been that bad, where you like, this ain't really for me? Let me tag in a colleague. Come on, girl. This is you up. Have you ever had a scenario where you had to kind of tag somebody else in?
Well, I think that's where my social work background really comes into play, because before I go out to someone's home or office, they're contacting me perhaps through my website, or they're calling me, and I'm a screening call with them where I'm asking them a lot of questions on the phone and trying to see if they're the best fit for me, because I know who my people are. And I think it's so important, because of what I've said already, feeling uncomfortable or embarrassed or maybe ashamed. I think it's really important to find somebody that you gel with, that got the right vibe with you.
Yeah.
So I know that I could help people in a lot of situations, but I know who I feel like I resonate with the most.
Okay.
I don't have that connection. That's where being in my association helps me know lots of other resources, lots of other people that I could say, I think this person might be a better fit for you, and I can give them referrals.
Well, that's good. You're sharing the love and sharing the wealth at the same time, and then that person can get the help that they need. So let me ask you this, because I seriously am asking I'm asking for a friend, but I'm also asking for myself.
You are the friend.
I am the friend. It's me. I'm the friend. I'm an emotion. I'm the friend. So for the services that you specifically offer, do you have tiers of service, like, I guess packages, for lack of a better term? We're going to start here. This is just your office. If you want office and bedroom, is this? If it is, XYZ, do you kind of tier? How do you label out your services?
That's a great question. So everybody in this profession has their own way of doing things. They have their own style. Do they do packages like you said? Do they do it by the hour? Do they do it? So for me, I've got a lot of different options for people, because I don't just go to people's homes or offices. So if I'm going to your home or office, we would talk about it first. We talk about, what kinds of things are you looking for help with? I do an assessment appointment, which is a 3-hour session, and people, it's a commitment. So people take me through, and show me as much or as little as they want. So some assessment is the tour part is like 5 minutes. Here it is. Let's go. And so then we just get to work. But other people, that first appointment could be just more of a consult, because they want to show me so many things and talk about so many things, right? Yeah. So we talk about, any space, they show me what's working, what's not working, what are your goals for this space. And if we look at multiple places, let's say in your house, you show me your kitchen, your laundry room, your bedroom, the bathroom. So then we'd sit down after the tour and I'd say, okay, let's prioritize this list. What spot would help you the most if we started it today? And you might say, well, it's my closet. And now we've got an hour and a half left. And so I said, okay, well, we're not doing your whole closet today. What part of your closet is the most? Because if you've watched, for example, Marie Kondo, which love her or hate her, she's got some ideas. She has a Netflix show. I don't know if you've seen it, but she makes everybody okay, let's say you're doing a closet. She has to take everything out of the closet. And then she's like, okay, I'll see you next week. Finish this. That's like, no, I don't do that. So I say to people, all right, what in the closet could we start with? So I had a woman, she said, okay, my shoes. So we started with the shoes. We're going to take it all out. We're going to look at it. We're going to group the like ones together, figure out what she wants, doesn't want, figure out how we're going to put it back in the closet so it makes more sense. And it's easy to find what she needs when she needs it. Then I look at my watch. Hey, we still have some more time. Let's do another part of this closet. I don't want to make a big, I won't call it a mess, but it gets a little messy before it gets better, because you got to take things out to be able to know what you have and how much of it you have.
Right.
So the last 15 minutes, we, make a plan and say, is this good enough? A lot of people hire me for just a jumping off. They're like, I
get started
because I'm trying to transfer skills so that I work myself out of a job, which is uneven, right? And not to say I don't have my regulars, because I do, but a lot of people just want a quick fix, and they take it on their own, and I stay in touch with them. Are you doing okay? And if they're not, I'm happy to come back and keep going with people. Other people are like, I could do it myself, but like a personal trainer, I just need someone there with me, keep me honest and keep me on target. So anyway, then, Michelle, I do either 3-hour sessions or 4-hour sessions beyond that first appointment.
Mm-hmm.
That's in person. I also to technology. Now I also offer virtual sessions. So
wow.
Yeah, some people work with me virtually. They don't even have to live in the St. Louis area.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so I see people for an hour at a time. And then, we work on something together. We might be FaceTiming or using Zoom or any other platform that works for people.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have opportunities for people if, finances are an issue. I have a newsletter that's free, an newsletter that comes out twice a month. So I have a lot of people that just follow me either through the newsletter, or I have tips that I post on social media. Of course, that's free.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I've been doing a monthly webinar. So the first Wednesday evening of the month, I get on Zoom for about an hour with whoever wants to sign up, max 100 people. And we talk about a certain topic. So the May class is going to be how to get and stay organized.
Look at that.
Love it. Okay. Well, we have got to take a quick commercial break. On the other side, you mentioned something that I think you could help people with, and that is systems. I don't think people understand the power of systems, even though we all have them. See, we have routine, which is a system, but we don't see it as a system intentionally. So I would like for you on the other side of the break to talk about 2 or 3 little things that we can add, or ways that we can create a system or a flow to help us stop adding on to the junk, and then B, systematically start reducing some of the clutter in our lives. So on the other side of this break, Jodi is going to really help us with a system that we can implement starting today. So you guys make sure you keep it locked right here.
What's up, St. Louis? Listen, I see you've been checking out some of my videos on how to build generational wealth. Here's the real key. If you're going to build wealth in America, you must find 1 or 2 ways to get paid for 1 or 2 things that you love to do, and then build systems around those things so that you don't become a slave to your business, but you then start earning true passive income. Listen, I've got a book and online course called the Monetize My Life Influencer Bundle. The book will teach you how to identify your gifts, talents, and special abilities and turn those things into income by packaging and presenting them to the marketplace. The course will teach you how to use social media and build systems just like this video around your products and services so that you can earn that passive income. All you got to do is click the link around this video and get yourself the Monetize My Life Influencer Bundle today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, CORTEZ Hustle. That's my girl, Michelle Aaye. And we are listening to and learning from Jodi Granok, the founder and creator of Organizing Magic, LLC. And we're talking about why to get organized. But I challenge Jodi to give us a couple of tips as it relates to creating a system around not adding to the mess, but also how do we kind of declutter, some tips that she can help us with. So Jodi, if we're kind of already see some of these things that you're talking about, man, I didn't realize that some of the anxiety that I experience comes from me not being able to find something in 30 seconds. Now I'm ready to pull my hair out. Well, I'm ready to put some hair back in. But give us a couple of tips on the importance of systems and how we can potentially set up some systems to help us declutter, but also help us once we, like if you gave us a jump start, how would we maintain that?
Okay. So I have a lot of favorite little quick mantras that I like to say, like the 30-second thing, which wasn't meant to stress anybody out.
Well, too late, Jodi. Too late. Too late.
So I'll work on fixing it for you. Okay. So when you realize that you can't find things in 30 seconds, then what you are trying to do is create homes for your stuff, which may sound weird because you're saying, well, I'm already in my home, but you're trying to make designated places for your stuff. So for example, in my house, there is a bookshelf. I'm looking over at it right now. And when I come home, my purse goes right on the top of that bookshelf. That is the home for my purse. That's where it lives. I never have to look for it. I never have to get stressed out. So the more we can make purposeful places for our stuff, that's going to help us find things easier. So when you're trying to figure out where these homes are, then you can use another thing I like to say, which is you want to store things where you use them, and you want to base it on the frequency of how often you use it, right? Mm-hmm. Have a pasta maker, but it doesn't need to be on the counter. If I only make pasta once a year, it could be way back in a cabinet. It could be high up on the shelf of the pantry. So the more you use something, the closer it should be to you. So as you're creating these homes for your stuff, you want to make sure that you're labeling. That's going to help you keep a system in place. So for example, I have a lot of moms that will call me and say, I have done this playroom or my kids' toys over and over again, and I bought these little baskets or bins or what have you, and I sorted everything and it makes perfect sense, but my kids come in, it looks like a tornado, and every night I'm sitting there putting it all back. Mm-hmm. One thing they forgot to do, label, because labels hold everyone accountable. You can't have your partner say, well, I couldn't help you put the groceries away because you have a system and I don't know what it is. But if you've organized the pantry and you've labeled, this is where the canned goods go, this is the bin we put all the snacks in, this is where all the cereals go, then everybody can help you keep that, maintain that organized system that you've created. Well, then people say to me, well, my kids aren't old enough to read, so how am I supposed to put labels? Labels don't have to be words. They could be pictures, Michelle.
Right.
So, you can make it a family project. The kids could cut out pictures from a magazine. You could take photos and put a picture of what is supposed to be in that container. Everybody can follow through. So labeling is a way to help you maintain a system. But I also like to say there's a B side of organizing, but then that shows my age, right? So I'm 50. B side used to be kids when we had a record or a cassette and it over. Okay. So when you create a home for your stuff, let's say you've designated a bookcase shelf and said, this is where all my games are going to go, my video game. Okay. Well, that becomes your boundary limit. So as you start to buy more video games, does that mean that you create a second shelf for the video games? Maybe. Does it mean you add another bookcase? You keep going with that. It's time to move, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Instead, you could say, well, I've already decided that this is my boundary limit. This shelf is going to be where my video games are. So when you come and bring new video games in, which is fine, we grow, we want new things, but something's got to go, right? Mm-hmm. If everything is special, nothing is special. And then you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
I bring home some new games for myself. What am I tired of playing, right? Maybe I can go to resell it. Maybe I can give it to a friend. But the point is, it shouldn't stay here because I'm trying to keep a system here. And I've said, this is how many games I feel like is plenty for me. So that's another way to have a system and be able to maintain it. Am I going on the right track for you, Cortez, or did you have something more specific?
No, that makes sense to me. Yeah. A home for my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now I just gotta put an address to the home.
Right.
i.e. a label. So it makes it easier for me. That I think that is something that a lot of people never actually consider. And then some people do it unconsciously, but adding intention to it now lets you expand the system. So, okay, if I know that every time I come in the house, I throw my keys right here. Okay, that's a system. Well,
Right.
start thinking about that intentionally with everything else that you're doing. So I absolutely love that. Love that.
And share the system, because it's not just you, right? You're trying to set everybody that's maybe living with you up for success. It doesn't mean that you get to come in and organize their stuff, because that doesn't work. But if it's communal space, if it's like the kitchen, you have that right to say, hey, I want us to have a more functional kitchen. So I'm going to do the work. Then I'm going to give you all a tour. I'm going to show you where it's at. But I expect you all to help me keep it this way, because I've made it as easy as possible. We can all hold each other accountable.
So you're mentioning a home for your stuff. I think I might have some overcrowding going on because everything parks on my dining room table. And it started with, okay, I come in, my wallet, because sometimes I carry a purse, sometimes I don't, just depends on my mood, but my wallet goes there, my keys go there. And that was originally, okay, that's the place where I keep those things. Then when I go to the grocery store to take stuff out the bags, they should go on top of the refrigerator where bags go to die in my house. But I'm looking at my table now. And on my dining room table, I have an empty Gatorade bottle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags, a can of Lysol, because it's real. A jacket, a purse that ain't been carried since Valentine's Day because it's red, but it's parked there. 2 hats, not 1, but 2 hats. And some sticky stuff I can't identify, but I'm working on that. A half-eaten bag of chips. And in my little penny jar that everything other than pennies goes in.
I got 2 tips for you then.
Okay.
It's gonna blow your mind. You ready for this? And
I'm ready.
I didn't come up with any of these myself. These are just things we like to throw around in the business, right? So clutter is the result of postponed decisions. We don't know what to do with this, so we're just gonna drop it right here on this table. And then it just multiplies. So it goes back to making those homes for your stuff. You're trying to think about, if I care about this, if I'm using this, if it's benefiting my life, where am I going to put it where I can access it and be able to use it? But at the same time, how do I honor the space of my island or my counter or my dining room table? So another tip that you can use is called anchoring a space. This into subliminal messaging, but let me see if I can give you an example. Okay, so think of like a shallow open box. It's not deep. Okay, this is the kind of thing that you can have on a table, and it is a purposeful container, and you say, what is going to go in this box? And so I have a client, she has one of those on the side of her kitchen counter, and what goes in there? She throws her keys in there. She throws her purse. She throws her sunglasses, whatever she needs to go in and out of the house, right? Maybe her checkbook, that kind of thing. But that's it. She can't throw anything on the counter. We've anchored the space. It's like a subliminal way of saying, no, if something's going to drop on this table, it's got meaning. So if it doesn't go in that box, it goes somewhere else. Where is that somewhere else? So we're not going to, take off this, that, and the other, the scarf and the bottles. No.
Right.
Just take a moment and put stuff away, because it never takes as long as we think it does.
So true. It's so funny you said that about the shallow box. Got one of those too. Okay. Now
you can do something with it.
I'm on my way. I already got the box. I just need
you got it.
Stuff.
And that's
there's nothing in the shallow box. It's everything else around the shallow box. The shallow box is the neatest and the cleanest thing in that space.
I wanted to tell you that the mistakes people make when they're trying to get organized. They say, I want to get organized. I'm driving over to Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, Container Store, Office Depot. I got to buy a bunch of stuff because I'm about to get organized.
Yeah.
You go shopping last, because you got to see what you have, how much of it you have, where you want to keep it. Then first you go shopping in your own house, because Michelle, she's already got the box, right? So sometimes people say to me, okay, you're coming over. What do I need to do? Nothing. What do I need to buy? Nothing. We're probably going to shop within your own house and repurpose things. most of my clients' houses look like Target, Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond. They got all kinds of bins and baskets, and all they did was add to the clutter of things because they didn't know what to do with things.
That is so crazy.
We're gonna talk, you and I.
Yeah, we are. Have you ever had somebody that, okay, because I know we'll get to the top of the hour, but have you ever had somebody like set up the appointment, you talk and everything, because folks can be misleading. So they talk and you get oh wow, connect with this person. You get over there and they expect you to be made. Oh, okay, well, we gonna start over there. You go over there, start organizing, and I'm gonna be right here watching more Republics. No, girl, you're doing great. That looks good already. Girl, worth every dollar. You ever run into that?
No.
I can hook you up with my laundry lady here. No. I can make some stuff happen here. No? Okay. No. That's all right. I just want to check it out.
This goes more into the business part of it. And I think it's good for anyone that has a business. And that is, you have to manage your clients' expectations. You hear up front, this is what I do. This is how I do it. And that goes back to that assessment I was talking about. You want to make sure that you're going to be a good fit. I make sure people know when I come over, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do. This is how you're going to pay me. This is how all works, right?
You go pay me. Just work that right in. This is how you're going to pay me.
Well, you got to get that money. You got to get that money. Or
lead with that.
Doing. Yeah.
Thanks for choosing my service. Cash App is.
But no, I mean, that's where I find out. If I do have people that'll say to me, well, how does this work? Do you just come over and I go shopping and you just fix it for me? Because they do that on some of the TV shows.
Right.
And you gotta be clear and say, that's not how this works. We're gonna work together. Now, it's not to say I don't have colleagues that do that, because there is business for that. But what I tell my people is, this has to make sense to you. I have 100 different ways I can organize this space, but I'm not the one living here.
Right.
My system on you. I need you to tell me what makes sense to you. And if my idea doesn't work, here comes another one, because you're the one that's going to live with it. I want you to be successful. I want you to think I'm really great, and then tell your family, because I worked myself out of a job and I need a new client.
Right. There it is. Like, you got to be confused with Molly Maid. I'm not coming to clean your house. I'm coming to help you clean your house and be more successful and being organized. So that's great. I mean, we'll connect and because I desire, like, I always want to be a basket person, right? Then I desire to be organized. My brain wants it. I'm not a great executioner. I have the vision. It's the execution that I lack. So either one or two things: I need to be rich and hire someone to do it for me, or I just kind of need to get my life, get it together, and just say, okay, I need some quick tips, couple baskets, and just some a push in the right direction to get it done and stay on that track. So,
and getting organized doesn't have to be expensive. Like I said, there's lots of ways. With me, there's lots of ways to implement systems and have that help. But yeah, when you get organized, it's a lot easier to and keep it going. And a lot of people need to get started, and then they see it and they can maintain it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Yes,
well, speaking of getting started and connecting with you, Jodi, let everybody know how they can connect with you, the best offers that you got going on, and how they can get organized in the magic way.
Okay. Well, if you want to connect with me and my company, Organizing Magic, probably the best thing you could do is visit my website, which is www.organizingmagic.com. And magic is spelled with a G. Sometimes people get it twisted. MAGIC. You can also find my page on Facebook, which is just go to Facebook and it's Organizing Magic. You can find me on Twitter, also with the handle Organizing Magic. You can find me on LinkedIn as my name, Jodi Granok. On my website, there's a place where you can sign up for the newsletter I was talking about. And also on the homepage, it'll tell you when my next class is and what it, when it's offered and what the topic is. And again, it's a free webinar that we do the first Wednesday night of the month. Poke around and yep, there's my website. Thank you so much. And if you scroll down, you can see there's lots of different options. You can find out how to hire me, how to have me come and do public speaking for your groups. If you like cats, there's my cats. Frequently asked questions, all kinds of products that I do have for sale on my website, which we didn't talk about. You can read testimonials, see pictures of what we do. Just call me. Call me, email me. I'm around.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, this is the time of the show where we like to just give our final thoughts, last words. We always start with our guest. Jodi, last thoughts, final words.
Would you like one more fun expression, Michelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just start. At times we feel like we can't do a big project because we can't see the finish line. You don't finish. You just have to start because you can chip away at things. So when you have a bigger project, don't think about, oh, I got to wait till I have this amount of time to do it. Just start and set a timer. Do your 15, 20 minutes. Do more if you feel like you're in a groove. But you will chip away at a pile of paper or too many emails in your inbox, whatever it is.
We'll talk. Emails.
We'll talk. Just start. Reminds me of Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just start. Love it, love it, love it. Michelle, final words.
Apparently I don't read enough because I'm not eating frogs. Okay, so there it is. Man, just what's my final thought? Get organized. Just start. How about that? Piggyback off of that. And I love what you said. I have to swing back around because I'm really on the train to self-love. And I really think that being gracious towards yourself, showing yourself forgiveness and grace is you just gave me this like, wake up, girl. That's a great place to start, you know, because a lot of times we go through things that we don't forgive ourselves. We don't show the grace. We're too hard on ourselves. And I think that was the nugget that kind of was like, oh yeah. But I think someone else, I'm a firm believer that, you know, little nuggets that you deposit, those epiphany kind of phrases or whatever. You said that just trying to, you know, contribute to the conversation. Someone out there needed that word in that moment to go, wow, I got to start being more gracious to myself. So that's what I'm leaving on is self-inflicted grace. Give it to yourself as well as others.
Love it, love it, love it. And y'all know where I'm going. Monetize your life, people. Listen, who knew that there was a national organization of organizers?
Who? Right, I was like, it's a group of you?
But when you start looking at the things that you're passionate about, the things that you're gifted at, the things that I tell everybody, Jodi, that if you have a passion, a gift, talent, or special ability, chances are there are other people who love it too. And and everybody does something better than most people. You do it so well that people will hire you to do it for them. They will hire you to do it with them, or they will buy products and services that you recommend because you do it so well. So learn how to turn your gift, talent, special abilities into income and monetize your life just the way that Jodi did. She didn't even know she was a beast at organizing until she hooked up with her husband and fixed his closet. All of a sudden, she got high off organizing the closet. Who does that? Well, people who are passionate about things.
No, you don't have to have a husband.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I am looking.
Well, you got Mr. Wonderful, right?
Mr. Wonderful. He's still in the penalty box in the closet behind my oldest pair of shoes. He back there chilling because of the bro code and a whole nother thing.
There you go. There you go. So we appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Until we talk to you guys next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up.